There was frustration and anger in the session hall last night.
I'm trying to establish leadership. Excuse me, Senator Pangelinan.
In order to
will you allow me to speak, Senator Pangelinan? I am the chairman of the Committee of the Whole.
Of taking a
Senator Pangelinan.
Proceeding
Senator Pangelinan.
deliberations of this body with regards to the budget that was rejected
the chairman has the floor.
members of this body, including myself. So thank you very much for joining me on that, Mr.
Thank you, Senator Pangelinan.
But I really would believe it would be appropriate
if you please continue,
for the chairman to...
Senator, we'll call a 1 minute recess.
Okay.
That exchange occurred shortly after the legislature's first effort to pass a budget last night. It failed when only 7 Democrats voted for it, but Senator Ben Pangelinan crossed party lines to vote against it. That prompted Finance Committee Chair Senator Calvo to call Pangelinan a coward.
I think it's a bit disingenuous of Senator Pangelinan and a bit of cowardice as well.
He accused the Democrats today of failing to identify the source funding for a budget swollen with overspending.
But I have to remind Senator Pangelinan that when I tried to establish ground rules for moving this budget forward, it was Senator Pangelinan that objected to my rules and my leadership. And that is what led to no rules and jungle rules.
Pangelinan explained his initial no on what he called the lack of leadership from Senator Calvo.
It didn't meet that test for me of making sure that first we ensure that we fund the refunds. I'm just not going to tolerate this any longer. We keep saying it's okay.
Pangelinan then explained he changed his mind and decided to vote yes because he wanted the changes he was fighting for, including deleting the governor's transfer authority to take money from GPSS, provision that would allow for the sale of the latter estates, and to get rid of funding for private attorneys for DPW.
We got to stop this practice of taking any new revenues and appropriating them to prior year authorizations. Let's pay the income tax refunds and put that money there first.
Calvo remained puzzled that Pangelinan originally voted against the bill. He says most amendments were made by Democrats.
I don't think the product turned out any better. It actually was worse. But again, this is what happens, and this is what the compromises and the deals that were made within the Democratic caucus.
Pangelinan says Calvo and the rest of the GOP shouldn't have agreed on the budget if they all planned to shoot it down.
If they objected to it, then they should have objected, not sandbag, our colleagues here, because they all indicated to them that they've agreed with this provision. And so that, to me, is what has to be resolved. So if there's anything to be resolved, I think it's between Senator Calvo and maybe some of my other colleagues that he had assured he was going to support.
Nick Delgado, PNC News, the Legislature.